Hey guys, it's Lizzie. I am so late to live streaming. It's like 6:15. I said it would start at 5. I live with a lot of roommates and all of us kind of like work from home. Hi Diana. All of us kind of work from home and I have like social media like jobs. So some of my roommates were doing like this video filmed interview and I had to like wait forever to film my video, but we're finally here and I have my dinner. I made a giant kale salad with avocado, tomato. Oh my gosh, hi everyone. You guys are so nice. I'm happy you waited. I'm always so late, and the few times I've done live streams before, I've always been on time, which is kind of amazing. Like I was kind of upset I was late, but then I was thinking, all the other live streams I've done, I haven't been 30 minutes late. So I'm trying to be better. I'll be a moderator. Thank you. Add moderator. I'm a new sub and I've recently been diagnosed with bipolar. Ambra, hi. I was talking about bipolar in my video I just filmed. Happy to see you. I learn a lot from your videos. Are you going to talk about the recent scandals? Yeah, of course. Everyone wants to talk about that all the time. Actually, in my Bible study at my church on Wednesday, we didn't really talk about it at all. We were just kind of focusing on the scripture readings and like what we're dealing with in our lives. What about your guys' churches? Are you still talking about it like every time you're at mass and you're at your Bible class? Like, are you guys always talking about it? Have you heard of the Neo-Catamical way? Okay, question. So someone from Germany, this priest from Germany was telling me about that, emailed me. I wish I had strong enough discipline to eat healthy like that. Okay, just do it for like a week and you'll actually reset your taste buds like with processed sugar. If you don't eat any processed sugar for a week, it resets your entire taste buds. And then you start thinking apples are so good. So it's the same with any food. Like it's an addiction and like a dopamine rush thing if you eat unhealthy. So if you just start eating healthy, it'll reset your taste receptors. Yeah, like my favorite foods are spinach and kale and cucumber. Hope yours truly, Chris. You're so funny. I'm glad you finally got a photo. You're addicted to kale. I know, kale is my favorite food. So I'm speaking at a conference in Canada on 2 weeks from now. If you live in Calgary, go sign up for the conference. Go on my social media, you'll find how to sign up. But they like asked me how to make vegan food for me. Because like at conferences before, I've been starving because the vegan option is like potato, broccoli, and apple. And like I'm starving the whole time. So I made like a giant list of like different meal ideas. And I had like kale in all of them. I was like Buddha bowl with rice and beans and potatoes and kale. Burrito with kale. Calgary is far from me. Why are you not a traditional Catholic? Oh my gosh. I like have so many videos filmed for this. So like I go to Latin Mass. Like I'm part of a Latin Mass community, but also a Novus Ordo community. I feel like it would kind of be negative to my outreach if I was only like Latin traditional Catholic. Does that make sense? Like I want to make my videos accessible to anyone who wants to convert. I'm gonna tweet this out to my social medias real quick. Da, da, da. What are your guys' favorite songs recently? Here is my live stream. I've been listening with my roommates to The Light Is Coming by Ariana Grande and Nicki Minaj. It's so depth. It has a political meaning because there's this one line in the song. So there's like a background to this song. There was a town hall meeting with a senator, and this guy yelled, "You wouldn't even let anyone speak!" And instead, and so they took that part of the song of the yelling at the politician, and they have that in the background of the song. And the whole song is talking about someone who's not willing to be proven wrong and is so unhappy because they're right about everything. And it just really explains our political climate on both sides. Everyone thinks they're right and hates everyone else. And she's just like, the light is coming to take back what the darkness stole. It's a really, really deep song. Come hang out with me. Okay, share now. Okay, cool. We shared on social media. I'm gonna come read your comments. I've heard her singles, they're amazing. Ariana Grande, Ave Maria, Celine Dion, Hozier. Does he have a new album out? Because he is really good. Have you heard of the possible schism in the Orthodox Church between Russia and Greece? No. But my parents actually lived in Russia. When I was a baby, I lived in Russia, so I love Russian culture and literature. Just want to say thank you for your videos. I just uploaded a new video and mentioned you because I used to leave Mass right after communion. Oh, that's so sad. See, I should be less judgmental because people will change. Hi, Maddie. Jermaine Thomas. The title was clickbait. Okay, none of my titles on my live streams are clickbait because if I live stream for 2.5 hours, I'm probably going to talk about that topic at some point, you know? I'm kind of just getting started and waiting for people to come as well. I'm your #1 fan for Facebook for the week, and Reek, oh my gosh, that's constantly changing. So you need to keep up your game with sharing my posts and stuff. It's so cool though that it shows me like who's interacting with me the most. Because on my Facebook, so many people comment, and it's hard to remember people. So it's cool that I recognize people. Because of you, I started a vegan diet. Chris Carell. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. Veganism is honestly so fun. And it's not even about being fully vegan, but just eat more fruits and vegetables and whole grains. And you'll live longer and be happier. What does kale have to do with Catholicism? That's a really, really deep question. So I think that food is very intertwined with religion. Like, I think sharing a meal together is such a spiritual experience. And so I think it's really telling that the center of Christianity is the Eucharist meal, sharing a meal together. And so I think that as Christians, we need to be the healthiest versions of ourselves, like emotionally, spiritually, physically, like when God, like realizing that the creator of the universe loves us, knows us so intimately, should make us feel so empowered to love ourselves. And so I think that kale, it's one of the healthiest vegetables you can eat. Kale, spinach, and not cucumber, celery, the healthiest vegetables. And so I think that if we're going to be Christians and love ourselves and know we're so loved by God, we should probably eat healthy. Does that answer your question? Also, oh my gosh, I have to tell you guys a story. So I was at my Bible study on Wednesday and we like have a meal together. And they all know that I'm vegan. So like my deacon made like a giant, he made like a salad like this big for everyone. And he gave me like 3/4 of the salad. And then my priest like made this extra like rice and quinoa mix and he gave me like half of it because like everyone else was like eating chicken or something. Would you ever come to St. Louis? Yeah, my family used to live there, so I would drive there from Terre Haute, Indiana all the time with my mom. We were like driving from there and home, and for some reason, we ended up on this highway that like, so this is St. Louis, the highway went like all around St. Louis, and because we made the wrong turn, like we were supposed to go like this way, but we had to go like that way around it. Do you know what I'm talking about? It was so annoying. Do not leave the church, please. You are very good at helping anyone searching for the truth. I'm never going to leave the Catholic Church unless there's like some new evidence that, I guess I would become Jewish if Catholicism wasn't true. Maybe Orthodox, if there was something specific. Like if we could like disprove the papacy, then obviously I'd be Orthodox. But if I wasn't going to be Christian, I would be Jewish. That's cool. You go to Latin Mass. I'm a Sedavationist. I don't know what that is. Ah, I love you. I love you, Amber. Kale allows you to allows one to eat and fast simultaneously. No, okay. You know how like they sell things of kale? Like this salad is kale, but I have another bowl of kale that I'm gonna eat after I eat this. So it's like a lot of calories of kale. My Bible study's on Wednesday too. Do you pray before eating? No. It's kind of weird. I don't pray before eating. I pray like when I wake up and like I set aside time to pray. And I pray like in the middle of the day if something is happening. But I don't like, I don't know, like I'm very impulsive and in the moment. That's a giant bowl of salad. I don't think God would give us the permission to eat meat if it was bad for people. Jesus wouldn't have been eating it either. Just what I think. So Jesus ate a lot of fish. So like the Mediterranean diet is objectively really healthy. The problem is the modern Western diet, which has changed within the past 50 years. So for most of human history, people had a much lower intake of meat and dairy, and especially red meat. So if you're eating like chicken, fish, they have a much higher omega-3 than omega-6, and you need a lot more omega-3 than omega-6. So you need more unsaturated fat, less saturated fat. So it's more like the type of meat you're eating. And meat would be like, you know, meat was a delicacy. It wouldn't be like their entire meal was meat. So it's mostly just America that has the problem. Other countries are doing well with eating healthy. That's why we have so much cancer, and our healthcare system is like 5 times more than our military budget because people eat so unhealthy in our country. And not just meat, like processed sugar. When do you say the rosary? Either like in the middle of the day or like before I go to bed. Or if I'm really stressed out. I miss you. Oh, Maddie! Oh, hi. Sorry I couldn't hang out with you before I left. I got so stressed and so much work. As Catholics, we should pray over everything, listen, everything we do. Like, I should pray more. I've gone through times where I've prayed, like, all throughout the day. Like, pray without ceasing. I am not leaving the Catholic Church, Joshua Bell. Me neither. Do you only vote for pro-life candidates? I have a hard time voting in this last election. Yeah, I think I was like debating people on Twitter about this, that half of Catholics vote Democrat and half vote Republican in like every single election for the past like 60 years. So it's really half-half. So like pro-life means a lot of things. Like the Republican Party is very like pro-death penalty, very like imperialistic with the military, so less worried about healthcare. And so like they're pro-death in certain ways, and then like liberals are obviously pro-death with abortion. So it's like difficult because like both parties have certain Catholic principles part of them. Why are Protestants so aggressive? I mean, it depends on the Protestant. Like I was aggressive, but I'm still aggressive. I'm just aggressive. Add to the beauty, I just started RCIA and several people are trying to discourage me. Advice for us in this situation. Pray and pray and pray and pray and pray. If people are against you becoming Catholic, just pray for them to become Catholic and pray for them to feel peaceful and calm. Anytime someone is mad or upset, it's because they're broken inside and that's why they're hurting you. Sedevationists are another variety of Protestants. Is that like SSPX? Hi, Lizzie from Italy. Hi. Oh my gosh. I really, really, really want to go to Italy with Trevor. This company emailed me, like a travel, like Holy Land company, and they said they would send me anywhere for free. So I'm so excited. Love the death penalty. Okay, Margot, if you're Catholic, you can't love the death penalty anymore because recently Pope Francis, in line with the past like 15 popes, not 15 popes, so the past few popes who have all been like publicly speaking against the death penalty, especially Pope John Paul II, finally it's in the catechism that we're all against the death penalty. So if you're Catholic, you can't say that. I'm a Catholic from Brazil, and my girlfriend is Protestant. Pray for us. I will. You could really change her. It might not be you. Even if you break up and then she gets back together with someone else, she could become Catholic later. Like you're planting all the seeds just by loving her. Hey, Lizzie, look at my question and give me your opinion. Trad Kelly. I don't see you. There's so many people. What can you say regarding President Trump? He's really mean. I feel like he is like a huge bully and he makes Americans hate each other, which I think is really toxic. I think a leader should make people unite together, like a good leader. I'm taking RCIA classes because of you, Chris. Oh, used to be Mormon. I'm so happy you welcome home. No, God is for the death penalty. It's in the Bible. what I love about Catholicism, I was telling someone this. Oh, I was talking to my best friend Thiza yesterday. We're talking about how, like, she always asks me questions like, do you think this is literal, like things in the Bible that are allegories? So we were talking about the Tower of Babel. And she's like, obviously that didn't happen. And I'm like, yeah, it's obviously an allegory. And I was like, what I love about Catholicism is we have a teaching authority that tells us how to interpret the Bible. And like we have a history of how Christians have always interpreted the Bible. So the death penalty thing in the Old Testament, early Christians didn't interpret that as like being a core part of how we should integrate Christianity. So that's the problem when you cut out Christianity from tradition, you come up with crazy interpretations. Anything goes. Do you believe in stigmata? Yes. I'm so obsessed with stigmata. One of my friends from Pepperdine who's Orthodox, we were like on a road trip together like last May. And we talked about stigmata like for hours. And like research and stuff. I'm happy you're finally loving the rosary. I was wondering if you have read 33 Days to Morning Glory. Yeah, I love the rosary. Past like 3 weeks, I've finally gotten into it. I don't know why it took me so long. It's like meditational. Like when I was praying it last night, I had like my Bible out with my highlighters and pens. And then I had my rosary app and my rosary. And I was like praying scripture and reading in depth all the Bible verses about the mysteries. I think that Thursday Luminous Mysteries is my favorite. Do you think, oh wow, we disagree about Trump? Yeah. I mean, half Catholics voted for him, half didn't. So yeah, it makes sense we disagree. Hi, Marie. Do you think that divisiveness and negativity in the world has made us more mentally ill? I was talking to Thiza about this yesterday too. Yeah, so a lot of people have a mental illness that is like 100%. So like I have bipolar. I was born with bipolar. I have bipolar genes. I'll always be bipolar. And certain people are like that with generalized anxiety disorder, major depression, schizophrenia, borderline personality disorder, all these things. But then certain people can have like a slight form of depression or a slight form of anxiety set on by PTSD or by stress. And so the less sleep we're getting, the more unhealthy our lifestyles are, the more stress, it will set off mental illness in people who otherwise might not have exhibited it. Does that make sense? Because like a lot of my friends have had depression and they don't medicate it, and it's like a situational thing. And if they just like, they can think themselves out of depression. Like some of my friends literally can do that, but they don't have like major depressive disorder, you know? We disagree. Okay. I noticed in your last video, it says Hail Mary in the Catholic Bible and greetings in NIV. I was going to start reading only my Catholic Bible. Which Bible do you use? I use a lot of different like Bible translations. I read different ones, but like my Bible, my main Bible I have is NAB, I think. We should do a video about Jehovah's Witness. I've been obsessed with them recently. Actually, I was going to. I had a Jehovah's Witness like brochure, but I don't know. I just like I don't feel that motivated to do it, but it's been on my like video list for a bit. You should do a video. Whoa, I lost a lot. Okay. I have bipolar and borderline. Amy, that's so interesting because I heard that they can be like misdiagnosed as like the other thing. So that's so interesting. You have both at once. That's interesting. I wish we could like talk for an hour about this because I know like borderline episodes are like relatively short. So my question is like, if you're in a manic episode or a major depression episode, could you have like a borderline episode within that? Because then I feel like it would just be like mixed episode kind of thing. But obviously different. Praying for you and your calling in the church. Do you know Teresa Newman? She had stigmata and didn't sleep for 18 years and lived off the Eucharist for over 50 years and nothing else. Oh my gosh. I want to have a saint devotion to that person. Teresa Newman. My boyfriend is doing a project on Catherine of Siena? Catherine of Siena. I mean, she was the same where a lot of times she would fast and just eat the Eucharist. Your Mary video comment sections are so controversial. Yeah. It made a lot of people angry. I think what makes people angry the most is I say that the Hail Mary prayer is the Bible verse, which it is, but then there's the part that's like, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. And I was talking about this on Facebook recently, and like for some reason, like that part never bothered me, because like we ask anyone in heaven to pray for us, and we're all sinners, and they can pray for us now and when we die. Like literally anyone in heaven, you could say that about. But people get really mad when I'm like, this is a Bible verse, and then they're like, yes, it is, but this part isn't. And so that's why, like, I'm very like black and white with the way I talk. So when I say, like, I made a video about Mary, Queen of Heaven, and I was like, this is the most biblically based theology of anything in Christianity. And obviously that's an exaggeration. So then people are going to get mad. I was just diagnosed as bipolar 1. That's why I asked about meds. Beth, what did you ask about meds? Send it again. I didn't read it. My old sister, Rebecca, thinks the Catholic Church is a Mary cult. People think a lot of things about the Catholic Church. Do you think the Protestant Reformation has helped the church? Yeah, I actually do. I think that because of the Reformation, the Catholic Church made a lot of changes and figured stuff out. It sucks that that had to be why it happened. You know what I mean? Like they should have just like changed before. Just wondered how you were doing with medication. It's all new and weird for me. Yeah, I hope my videos can really help you. And on my website as well, I've written a lot of like spoken word type poetry type blog posts about it. But the first year and a half, I like cried every day. It was horrible. Realizing that I was bipolar and that was my whole life. But the most important thing is to get on medicine and stay on medicine. And you will go off your medicine, but then get back on your medicine. What happened with Pope Francis's accusations? Okay, I actually really used to love Pope Francis. And now it's kind of like I lost all respect for him. And what annoys me is that a lot of trads like really hated him. And now it's almost like they got proven right that they should hate him. You know what I mean? Which annoys me. Hi, Cram Hope. Have you had any specific signs from God? I've never had any like visions or like heard voices or anything. It's just very much like when I read my Bible, if I don't understand a Bible verse, I pray, and then it's like I'll see all these other Bible verses and understand it more. And I pray a lot for other people, and I see results in myself and in them. But not like any charismatic type stuff. I was slain by the true relic of the cross, saw 2 visions 11 years ago. That's amazing. Like, people who have experiences like that, I think it's so cool. I don't mind that I don't, though. Like, I don't want to have experiences. Does that make sense? Like, I feel, like, very content in my spirituality. Love your hair. Thank you. I was really into wanting to, like, bleach it back to all blonde. But then I started curling my hair a lot this past week, and I love it curled because, like, look, the bottom is like very brown. So when I curl it, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like you see the different colors together. What's your view on Protestants now? I love Protestants. I mean, like a lot of my friends and family are Protestants. I go to church with them sometimes, but I don't know. It's weird going back to Protestant church because it used to feel so fulfilling. But now it feels like very empty because like I go into a Protestant service and I'm like looking for the holy water and I want to cross myself. And then like we don't cross ourselves during church. And you don't really do communion. And you know what I mean? Like it's missing everything. It only has a homily and music. That's like not a mass. Who are your favorite Catholic Christian musicians? Do you think Pope Francis should resign? I think he should just, like, be honest. You know what I mean? Like, resigning would just make things even worse, honestly. what did Pope Francis do? Someone accused him of knowing about this bishop who was like enabling all this sexual abuse. So meaning like he knew it was happening and didn't fire the person, which means like he was enabling sexual abuse to happen. You know what I mean? You look great with brown hair. This is my natural hair, but I mean, I'm never gonna be like brown hair. I'm always gonna make my hair blonde my whole life. I mean, keep hanging out with me and you'll see, maybe I'll make it back to brown. What advice do you have for people starting RCIA? You're a catechist. At my RCIA, we weren't allowed to like ask a lot of questions. Like I had a lot of questions that I had to just like look for myself. So I think instead of doing like curriculum, like ask people like what their questions are. Because I think there's just so many things that are strange about Catholicism. And to just do like more like Q&A style, maybe start talking about a topic, but then have like 20 or 30 minutes for Q&A. What's your view on the Orthodox Church? I love the Orthodox Church. I love Divine Liturgy so much. He needs to tell everyone what is going on and stop dodging it. Yeah, it's kind of like Hillary Clinton with the Benghazi thing. She just never talked about it. And I actually really spent a lot of time researching into it, and she wasn't even as bad as she looked. But because she never talked about it, it made her look 10 times worse. And then she lost the election, you know? The Pope should not resign. He's not a president. He was chosen by the Holy Spirit. Pope Francis is doing the right thing by remaining silent, just like Jesus remained silent in his passion. I don't think that's related at all. Because someone's accusing him of something that really happened, whereas Jesus was being accused of things that were like not who he was. You know what I mean? Like Jesus was obviously innocent. Pink hair. I have pink hair dye. I have not used. Would you ever cut your hair into a blonde bob? Never, ever. You know how like some women grow older and they have like a guy haircut? Like it's so common, like older women. I will never, ever do that. I'll always have blonde hair that is long. I never want short hair. How do you keep the bleach look so healthy? I don't know, like, whoever did my hair did a really good job because it didn't damage it at all. But the thing is, I never, ever, ever use heat on my hair. I never blow dry it. I never straighten it. I curl it sometimes, but maybe like a couple times a month. And being vegan makes my hair so much thicker and stronger and healthier. Like that was the biggest thing I noticed when I went vegan and started eating so many fruits and vegetables. My nails grew so long. My hair was so healthy. So just like start eating more fruits and vegetables. Eat kale, you know. You should not change the color of your hair. I've changed it because, okay, here's the thing, guys. I was really blonde growing up. And then, like, by the time I got to high school, it became this, like, from this. So, I always thought of myself as blonde. So then when I stopped being blonde, I was like, what's going on? I'm in RCIA, Amy. How is it? Ever been to an Oriental Orthodox church? I don't think so. I will go though. I should go. Is someone saying that my hair is sexy and it's wrong to be sexy? I think like people are just inherently like sexual unless you're asexual. You know what I mean? So then like people are sexy. My doctor wants me to become vegan. Yeah, because it creates less inflammation in your body. So a lot of diseases, it's like harder for them to grow if you're eating a more plant-based diet. Michael Voris and the Vortex, sometimes he's like, I agree with him. And I like the way he edits his videos. Like it's so dramatic how he edits and it's like hilarious. I feel like he's given me inspiration to be more dramatic with how I edit. Natalie, I love you too. Do Protestants marry Catholic? What do you think of Ariana's God is a Woman music video and song? So good. I love the music video. It's so good. But it's funny because God is not a gender. But the point of the song is that we typically think of like powerful and deity with male. So it's a really empowering song. I love it. It's never wrong to be sexy. I kind of disagree though. Like I think there's context where you shouldn't be like showing your sexual side. You know what I mean? Like if you're at the beach, it's one thing. Or like if you're with friends, but like in public, you should probably be a little bit more chill. What do you guys have for dinner tonight? Or what are you eating? Why do you say trads in a negative way? I don't. I love trads. The thing is, like, I don't know if it's derogatory or not, because a lot of people who are traditional Catholics call themselves trads in a positive way. So, like, I didn't use that term for a while because I thought it was mean. But then I started seeing, like, people who are trads call themselves that. So, I don't mean it derogatory. Like, Latin Catholics made me become Catholic, you know? Like, a lot of my audience. Hi, James. Tell me, you guys, what you have for dinner tonight. I want to know how you guys eat. What are some vegan meal ideas? I made a video with vegan meal ideas. So if you Google, like, Lucy's Answers, vegan meals. I'm eating a bacon cheeseburger. The Ariana video is heretical. It's a metaphor. It's a religious metaphor. Really bad symbolism? Okay, I love Ariana. I've been following her since like before her first album when she made YouTube covers. Psalm 22 about your last video. Psalm 22. Psalm 22 is, my God, why have you forsaken me? What was my last video? The rosary video? Yeah, I think I was talking about in the video how if you're in like severe depression or suicidal, the sorrowful mysteries would be really comforting that God went through that as well. I had salmon, quinoa salad with edamame, trying to be healthier. Salmon is so good. I wish I could eat it. I haven't eaten since 3 p.m. It's 9:48. Go eat! I do the same thing where I forget to eat. What do you think of Father Mike? I love their videos. I watch that whole channel. Lizzie, that Ariana song is influenced. Please don't support. A lot of songs use religious imagery, and I think that's beautiful. Lizzie, you could never be a Jehovah's Witness. They have to remain politically neutral. I feel like I'm pretty politically neutral. I'm pretty chill politically. I'm not like either side. Pizza rolls. Fasting today. Still waiting for my meal. I have to eat with my meds. Fried tempeh. Tempeh is so good. What are your guys' favorite new songs right now? Who did you choose as your confirmation saint? Irenaeus of Lyons. Do you find it difficult to navigate Christianity being a pretty liberal person? Not really, because Christianity is really into like helping the poor, and that's kind of like why I'm liberal. like poverty relief stuff is really important to me. So I feel like it's pretty related. Like the only thing is like the abortion issue was so ridiculous. People are chill with abortion. But everything else about my party really lines up with basic Christian ethics. It's pronounced Leons. 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 I picked John Paul II as I'm a Democrat, but disagree with abortion and death penalty. The reason I'm Democrat is because I'm a huge supporter of the LGBTQ. Have you read the Summa Theologica by Aquinas? I was actually talking about that in the video I just filmed about how great the Summa is. So I've read parts of it, but not like the whole thing. I barely know anything about Aquinas, but I read like parts of it explaining different theology. One day, I will be happy to see you visiting the Uganda Martyr Shrine. Oh my gosh, I was talking to you on Facebook. I remember you. I would love to go to Uganda. 2 of my best friends are living there right now. Don't pronounce the S in Leon. Heritage of Leon. Leon. I don't need religion. If I had you, you're a goddess. What do you think about the system of distribution? Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm pretty liberal economically. I used to like literally define myself as a socialist. Like 6 years ago, but I become more chill. My husband is wanting to be Catholic solely because he loves Aquinas. I'm a revert. My wife is Pentecostal. She's hesitant. What advice do you have? Just, I don't know. I feel like if you're in a relationship with someone, you should share like what you're reading and researching and thinking. So just like organically share with her why you are Catholic. You and Emily Wilson need to collaborate. You guys are my favorite YouTubers ever. I'm actually going to Orange County tomorrow and we might like hang out. So we're going to definitely collaborate soon. Because we live so close to each other. Lizzie, if I had gay friends, how do I support them and still abide by Catholic doctrines? I used to think it was fine, but recently I grew in my faith and I don't know how to reconcile. So I feel like it's really rare to find a Catholic who is like, accepts that gender dysphoria is real, homosexuality is real. It's not like a deficit in a person if they're gay. It's not because like, oh, they grew up in a horrible environment or they're insecure. Like people are just born gay or bi or asexual, whatever. So I think that you can acknowledge those truths without defining marriage that way. Because the Catholic Church just defines marriage that sex is unitive and procreative. The whole purpose of marriage is to have a family. That's just how we view things. And so we view every sexual act should be unitive and procreative. And so I think that you can be like compassionate and loving towards those people, but then also be like, since we have a separation between church and state, in our church, we don't do gay marriage, you know? What do you think? Because like everyone in my life, like most of my friends are very liberal and pro-gay marriage. And because I'm Catholic, like no one cares. Like no one thinks I'm anti-gay because I don't go around saying homophobic things. And anyone I know who is gay, like I support, I'm friends with, you know, it's chill. Being gay is disordered. This is the teaching of the church. I think that their definition of disordered is where you're getting confused. Would you ever be a lector or Eucharistic minister? I want to be a lector for sure. I'm going to go get more food, guys. You guys can see my apartment if you want to. This is my roommate's room. I'm in her room because my other roommate is in our room. Ah! What else do you guys want me to talk about? Recipe: boil pasta, cook chickpeas, and then mash them. Recipe ideas. Do you think the church may just be wrong about the gay stuff? So the way we define marriage is something that is like infallible, absolute truth, and so it's not going to change on that. Conspiracy theories. How can I become a famous YouTuber? Please help. I think you can't like have this desire to want to be famous because YouTube is grueling and exhausting, and it's luck whether or not your videos get viewed by a lot of people. And so you have to actually be passionate and love what you're talking about and working on. Because having a bit of fame, getting recognized, getting money, like none of that will make you that happy. I actually get really stressed out when people recognize me and stuff. So I don't think fame is something you'd even want once you got it. It's cool being able to like influence a lot of people, but being known by so many people. Okay, this dressing is really good. It's from Whole Foods. Vegan lemon herb. Okay, this is guys what I met where I have even more kale. Look at this, guys. I have all of this extra kale to put in my salad. Oh, I should show you guys our living room. So we got this, these people to like professionally like redo our living room. And so I'll show you guys. It's really wild. Well, let me turn on the light. You guys see this? So we have like hammocks. We have this. And then they like built us a bar. It's so extra rich. And these are literally hammocks. It's super fun. Wouldn't you agree that the Catholic Church is more objective and Protestantism is more subjective? Yeah! I remember, like, before I started researching into Catholicism, I literally remember writing in, like, my journal that I think Protestantism, it's, like, relativism. Like, there's no way to know, like, what is true regarding Christianity. Like, there's some basic things you can know, but there's literally no way to know. And I remember thinking, like, I don't even care what kind of church I go to. I'll just pick a church based upon, like, my friends, like, what church they want to go to. That's how I'll pick a church. Because it was so relativistic, because there's so many interpretations. It looks like you have a halo. I'm an angel, guys. It's very beautiful. The Catholic Church says, have you read the life of Martin Luther? Talk about a demon. He was so anti-Semitic. He was so awful. He wrote this thing on, like, the thieving Jews. Like, let me look it up what it's called. Martin Luther on the... Okay, he wrote something called Against the Murderous Thieving Hordes of Peasants on the Jews and Their Lives. Yeah, but isn't that crazy? Like, murderous thieving hordes. And he had anxiety too, because one time he was like speaking in front of the court, and then he like had like anxiety, and he like left. You were in your house, right? Yeah. This is my apartment. The Talmud is pretty bad though. How about Korean men? There were a lot of Koreans at Pepperdine. And I've been to Korea before. Lizzie, do a singing video. Would love to hear your voice. What do you want me to sing? I sing at church. We proclaim your death, O Lord, and profess your resurrection until you come again. I love your eyebrows. I am a new vegan. Can you help me stay on track? You have to eat tons of calories so you're full. So eat like a lot of brown rice, quinoa, pasta, bread, beans, seeds, nuts. You have to get enough protein. Nice alto. I was a soprano growing up. It's so weird, guys. So I used to be like decently good at singing, like at least in church and stuff. But then when I went into major depression, everything kind of got reset. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I literally forgot how to like do different shots for filming, how to cook, how to laugh, how to talk, how to argue, how to be myself. Like, I lost everything. when I went into major depression. And part of that was like how to sing. So I feel like I'm really bad at singing now. Not bad, but like the strength of my voice and like being able to make the notes and everything. I feel like I have to relearn that, and I haven't put a lot of effort into relearning that. Isn't that so weird? For singing, start with bel canto private lessons. But I don't need to sing for like any part of my life. I like to sing at mass, but what are your thoughts on Patrick Coffin? We're friends! We're doing a conference together in 2 weeks. I was on his show before. And yeah, we're doing a conference together. And after all the sex abuse stuff happened, I'd already like written out what I was gonna say at the conference, our conference, and I was supposed to speak first. So we like switched places. So he's giving the first talk, like all about how we should be responding to the sex abuse crisis. And I'm so grateful he's doing that because I feel like I don't know how to talk about all of that. I wish I could be vegan too. I tried it for 1 month. Okay, the thing is, don't see it as like being fully vegan and then quitting. Just be like 70% vegan, 80% vegan. Have you tried fasting? I'm not good at fasting because I have really low blood pressure, so I pass out so easily. I get to see you in One Rock in 2 weeks. Yay! We can meet each other. Talking while eating. It's a lot easier to read the book of Haggai. How many of you guys are like students, like in college? What are you guys studying? I love the Patrick Coffin show too. Please ask him about LGBTQ issues when you see him. Okay, I'm gonna screenshot this because we're doing a Q&A. We're gonna do like a live stream on my channel where we ask him questions. So I'm gonna for sure like, oh my gosh, it's moving so fast. I'm gonna for sure like survey you guys on my social media for like questions you want me to ask him. I'm studying environmental law. I'm going to Ave Maria. Where is that? In high school? What are you guys doing like AP in high school? AP Euro and APUSH were my favorite classes. And psychology. Have you guys taken psychology? Thank you for singing. I can sing again. I can sing God is a Woman. You believe God is a woman and I... You guys some people got so mad about that. It's just like a song. Florida University. I'm starting a grad program in a couple weeks. Ever been to Jerusalem? No, I really want to go though. I love Bishop Barron. Me too. I recently subscribed to the Word on Fire app because you get access to all the Catholicism series videos and everything. Are you actually thinking of leaving the church? Never. I said at the beginning of the video that I would become Orthodox or Jewish. I don't think I'd ever become atheist. I go to a Baptist church with my family and they want me to tithe to our church, but I feel uncomfortable tithing to them when I don't really agree with them. I think the money is still like going to a good cause. Like one of my Catholic professors at my college donated to like my mission trip fund, and I was Protestant at the time. And so I think like there's good and truth and beauty, and God is present in every church. I mean, in every religion and every person. So I don't think you should not donate to a Protestant church. And you don't have to like tithe all your money. You know what I mean? How do they know how much you're tithing? Just give some of it. And you can give the other to like whatever nonprofit or... Where are the tomatoes and avocados? I think the avocados, like there's avocado right here. I might have eaten all the oh no, there's tomatoes here. I found them. Guys may do makeup, but not in a gay way. Okay, that's a thing. Isn't it so weird that if girls are like lesbian, it's more like chill? Like people are more okay with that than if guys are gay. And in general, women can exhibit more masculine traits and it's chill. But then if like a guy wants to wear a dress or wants to wear makeup, people think it's weird. But like if I wanted to be cut my hair and be super athletic and go into the military, like people are chill with that. But then if a guy wanted to be feminine, it's not okay. Like I think that's like such a double standard in our culture that women are more free to be like beyond their stereotypes. Who do you guys live with? Do you have roommates, family, college roommates? AP US History worth 400 years of storytelling. LOL. Did you like it though? I want to learn theology and philosophy in college. That's what I did in college. It was so fun. I'm so glad I'm not in college anymore though. I was like walking last night with my best friend. We were just like walking around our neighborhood. We were talking about how much we're so glad we don't have to study anymore. Because it was exhausting. Doing so much busy work, reading like hundreds of pages every week, and just being under constant stress, not being able to get enough sleep. You know what I mean? Like I liked it because I had like motivation to read so much, but I feel so much more healthier, like mentally now, not having to constantly. Lizzie, can guys do their eyebrows? Yeah, I think most guys like shape their eyebrows and stuff. My dad gets his eyebrows trimmed like scissors because I think his eyebrows are so fluffy or something. Isn't that weird? Everyone should be accepted, whatever their gender. Yeah, I feel like if someone wants to go against gender stereotypes, like people should just be chill. I love how you're always eating during your lifetime. I think part of it is I work so much during the day and I'm so busy and forget to eat. So then it's like, I haven't eaten all day, you know? And also like mukbang type things are super trendy right now. Do you think you'll ever convert your family? I really thought I would and was shocked by their responses. Because to me, like, I consider myself a fairly thoughtful, intellectual person and someone who tends to use logic and decision making. So I thought that my parents and my sister would be like, oh, it's strange Liz became Catholic when she hated it the most of anyone in the family. You know what I mean? Like, I thought they would be like, huh, like, I wonder why she started thinking like this. Like, if my sister became Catholic or my dad or my mom, I'd be like, wow, how did you come to that conclusion? So it wasn't, yeah, I almost felt like not like belittled and stuff and not respected because my dad thought I'd been like manipulated, like emotionally manipulated by like RCIA, like tricked or something. And it was weird because my dad has always respected me so much intellectually. Like he's told me he thinks I'm the smartest person in our family before. And so it was so hurtful, like so hurtful for my dad to not take it seriously, like the intellectual process that I went through. So that was really, really sad. I've been subscribed to you for years and tried messaging you on Instagram. I can't believe I actually came on my Instagram. Hi. I get so many messages on Instagram. It's like impossible. Lizzie, what nationality are you? I don't know. I want to do a DNA test. My manager is trying to get this company to sponsor a video where I do a DNA test. They're not getting back. They're being annoying. Will your parents watch this live stream? No. My parents do not watch my live streams. I don't think they watch my videos anymore. My dad used to watch like all my videos, and I think like he doesn't anymore. What's your favorite book of the Bible? Ecclesiastes, Luke, John, Ephesians, Revelation, James, Deuteronomy, Proverbs, Sirach, Tobit. Like, I love the Bible so much. Like, there's so many amazing parts. I was reading so much of the Gospels last night. I was doing rosary. And one of the mysteries is Jesus declaring the kingdom of heaven. And it's so crazy because when he's after he like declares the kingdom of heaven, he's sending out his disciples. And he's like, people are going to hate you because of me. You're going to be persecuted and attacked. Basically saying like you're going to die for me. You know what I mean? Like that type of sentiment towards the disciples when he was sending them out. And so it's so wild to think that like the coming of the kingdom of heaven means that Jesus wants us to suffer and take up like literally he's like, take up your cross and follow me. And so we have to die to ourselves and be sacrificial in how we live. And throughout so much of the early church and today, people literally being murdered in these horrific ways. And that's how we're supposed to be so like submissive to God. This book I was reading by Pope Benedict the 16th, he was talking about how the kingdom of God isn't like a thing that is happening, but is Jesus reigning and making his kingship inside each of our souls. And so that means that in the case of the apostles, and so many Christians, that they literally die for Christ. And we were talking in my Bible study about the scripture reading for next Sunday, where Peter says, you know, you are Christ. And he's right in saying that Jesus is Christ, but he's wrong in that no one realized what it meant for the Messiah to come. I mean, it's wild. It's wild that the king, the Messiah, comes and then he's crucified. He dies. Like no one ever expected that to be the kingdom. And so then the people who are establishing the kingdom, you know, his direct followers, they're expecting to like be leaders in this kingdom. And instead, they're expected to be murdered for the faith. You know, it's just completely opposite of what you would ever expect. So that's, I guess, what was so shocking when I was reading through all these Bible passages last night, that the coming of the kingdom of heaven is this like immediate, like completely submitting and trusting Jesus and leaving behind what you want and denying yourself, but then finding yourself through that. It's just so intense. Like Jesus wants us all in. What do you think of Michael Voris? I already talked about it. I agree with some of the things he says. He's really hateful sometimes. I like how he edits his videos. My dad was similar. It's impossible to convert him. It would take a miracle. Only God could do that. But for me too, it was a miracle. I really, 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 really hated Catholicism. Like, anytime people comment on my videos and are mad, or in my actual life, I literally tell my friends if they're like, the church is sexist because of birth control. I tell them, I was 5 times angrier than you are thinking the church was sexist because of birth control. Because it's true. I had so much anger. Do you think I'm going to hell for not being Catholic? So the Catholic Church has kind of like an open view of salvation where we pray all the time for everyone to go to heaven. Like we want everyone to go to heaven. And we believe that people who through no fault of their own don't know that the Catholic Church is true or have not heard of Christ, that they're able to go to heaven. Because God is extremely merciful, and that's core to our theology. What do you think about infant baptism? I made a video about it this summer, so you should go Google Lizzie Rize infant baptism, and it will come up. I like you, Lizzie, because I'm not religious. I find it hard to watch your videos. I don't connect. Why are you here, Liam? Deuteronomy, really? Deuteronomy 6. Go read it. It's so freaking amazing. I'm going to read it to you guys. It's talking about how God You're supposed to think about God when you wake up, when you walk around, when you come back, when you're walking throughout the day, like all throughout the day, thinking of God and loving God. And then it's talking about how passing on the faith to your children is probably my favorite part. So he's like, in the future, when your son asks you, what is the meaning of the law and decrees that the Lord our God has commanded? Tell him, we were slaves of Pharaoh in Egypt, but the Lord brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand. Before our eyes, the Lord sent signs and wonders, great and terrible, on Egypt and Pharaoh and his whole household. But he brought us out from there to bring us in and give us the land he promised on oath to our ancestors. The Lord commanded us to obey all these decrees and to fear the Lord our God so that we might also prosper and be kept alive, as in the case today. Anyways, so it's talking about passing on the faith to your children. What is the best book to start with any of the Catholic books in the Bible? Tobit. And then Cyric. Do you think I'm going to hell for not being... Oh, I already answered that. Have you experienced kneeling towards the altar? Yeah, some churches I go to have kneelers, some don't. It depends. I kind of go along with what everyone else is doing. Is there gay marriage in the Catholic Church? Is there a gay mafia? Oh my God, Catholic Church, what? My depression and anxiety got worse from going to church. What kind of church? I know for me, Protestantism, like, it kind of felt like it made my depression worse because I was like in church and everyone was singing and like happy and joyful. And I felt so far away from God. Like I couldn't feel God at all. And everyone else like could feel God. And so I felt so lonely. And so it was horrible. But in Catholicism, when I'm in depression and we kneel down and we look at Jesus on the cross, and I realize he felt separated from God as well, and he understands me. So in Catholicism, when I'm in depression, I like it more. How do you have a conversation with relativists? So most of my friends are relativists, and I think what you can finally get people to concede is you say something like the Holocaust. Like, was the Holocaust evil, or was it like ambiguous whether or not it was wrong? Or you talk about like a mass shooting in the US, or like extreme like homophobia, racism, all of these things, like massacres, genocides, you know? And you ask people if that's like an objectively bad thing. And most people will admit that it is. And so then from there, you start talking about whether or not truth exists and stuff. But I think what's really helpful is I think a lot of people become relativists because they don't want to be intolerant of other people's ideas. And so I think what really helps me in explaining it to people is that, like, I don't know 100% whether or not I have access to truth. Does that make sense? Like, I'm very... Sorry, I'm trying to think of the words to explain it. I'm so exhausted, guys. It's, like, hard to think. So there's this epistemology view called perspectivism, which says that, like, it's impossible as an individual to know, like, 100% whether or not you know what is true. So I think what's helpful to say that, like, there is a truth, there are moral truths, and some moral truths we have access to, but we can never know, like, 100% what is true. Does that make sense? So just because there is truth doesn't mean we can claim, like, omniscient knowledge of what is true. Do you want a lot of kids or just a couple? Like, at least 4. I want to adopt as well. I want to be like one of those families when, like, the family comes in and they have so many kids and they're like, wow, they're really open to life. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be like that family. Try to eat your dinner before you make these videos, but this is like a thing on YouTube. Objective physical laws imply objective moral laws. That's an interesting way to argue it. You should have kids from every continent. Like, adopt kids from every continent, and then adopt a penguin. Will you send your kids to public school or homeschool? Public school. I really like public school. I think it's important to not, like, some people will get offended by this, but my experience is that people who are of a higher income will send their kids to private school, and then they won't, like, associate with people of the lower economic status. So I really like how in public school you're forced to deal with people of all different religions, cultures, ethnicities, like socioeconomic levels. You know what I mean? You're forced to be around all these different types of people, and I think it's really good culturally to make friends with people who think differently than you do. So that's why I don't really, like, I love that Catholic school is a thing, but I wouldn't want to have gone to Catholic school and only be surrounded by, like, a certain ideology. Does that make sense? How do you deal with negative comments? I don't care. I don't know. I just, like, I don't get affected by things that are not, like, my best friends or family or my boyfriend, you know? Like, if I don't know you, I don't really care. Like, you know what I mean? Because, like, people don't know me and who I am. Like, you guys see, like, this exterior person, but it's not, like, all of me, so it doesn't affect me. Your meal is so healthy. Yeah, I love eating kale. It's my favorite food. It's so good and so healthy. My friend said today that if God wanted every sexual act to be procreative and unitive, he wouldn't have made it pleasurable. How do you even answer this? So, the pleasurable part is the unitive part. So the pleasure you get from sex, the oxytocin, dopamine, vasopressin if you're a guy, that, like, bonds you to the other person. So it's unitive in that you're enjoying each other together and becoming closer emotionally, closer and trusting, like having this experience together. So the pleasure is the unitive part. So what I would say is, because there's pleasure involved in sex, obviously it's not just procreative. Does that make sense? So, like, the pleasure part is part of the unitive part. Can you support kids through... I lost it. Lizzie, you're my role model. Hi, Chris. I'm so happy. I'm Pentecostal, and I'm considering converting. It's a very big change. Any advice? There's a, like, charismatic movement in Catholicism with, like, every part of Pentecostal, like, speaking in tongues, like, slay by the Spirit, like, all the things that are part of Pentecostal, like the charismatic parts, that's in Catholicism. Like, there's groups within Catholicism that have those charismatic aspects to them. So if you found one of those groups, it might not be that different from your current experience. What are your thoughts on women giving themselves abortions, and how should we stop them in places where they're illegal? I do not support abortion, but I also don't know how to stop women from injury. So I was talking to someone the other day, and they were saying that giving an abortion should be illegal, but getting an abortion shouldn't be illegal. And they were kind of comparing it to, like, drug addicts, which I know, I'm not saying I'm comparing it to drug addicts, but they were saying that in situations where, like, in the US, we have a huge problem, like the war on drugs, which is super, like, against people who are Black or Hispanic or Native American. Like, so many people are in jail just for doing drugs. So that's really messed up, right? If someone's addicted to something, they're doing something that's hurting them, that shouldn't, like, they shouldn't be put in jail. So that's how I feel about abortions. Like, a woman is doing something to her body that is hurting her and that is negative, but she's just in a desperate situation. And so I don't think you should make it illegal to give an abortion, but I think abortion providers, that should be illegal. Does that make sense? Because I don't think we should, like, take a third of women in the US who've gotten an abortion and put them in jail. Like, that's insane, you know? Bacon is my favorite. Yeah, bacon is so good. Like, I was not vegan for a long time, so bacon is amazing. I agree. Hi Liz, I didn't know you were going live. God bless you. I put on all my social media that I was going live. What's in your salad? Kale, tomatoes, and avocado. And this like vegan lemon herb dressing. I just can't accept the title that is given to Mary, Queen of Heaven. So I talked about this in a video I uploaded pretty recently. So in the Jewish monarchy, like in the Old Testament, the mom of the king was the queen. So if Jesus is the king, then his mom is the queen. Because there's all these prophecies and Bible verses about how Jesus is the king in the line of David. So because he's the king in the line of David, his mom is a queen. So it's not saying like she's a deity or equal to him. It's just kind of like an objective fact. Like, okay, he's Jewish, he's a king, his mom is a queen. What is your favorite saint and why? Probably like Peter and Paul from the Bible and David. Are Old Testament people considered saints, or like is it the same word, guys? Someone from the Old Testament? Someone comment. Like people from the Old Testament who are in heaven right now, do we call them saints or something else? Does no one know? Comment, guys. I'm curious. Yes, like Saint Adam. Okay. Saint Noah. Oh my gosh, wait, so we can call everyone in the Old Testament saints. Saint David, Saint Solomon, Saint Deborah, Saint Esther, Saint Ruth. That's so, oh, they're all saints. That's so freaking cool. Wait, I'm gonna go up. What's your opinion about EWTN? EWTN has made my experience becoming Catholic. They've loved me so much. Like, I don't think you guys understand. EWTN is like, okay, this is like side note, but you know how like during the like early 1900s, like Theodore Roosevelt was like trust bust. I feel like EWTN is one of like that type of thing that needs to be like trust bust, but like I don't think it needs to be. But EWTN owns like 10 other Catholic companies that you don't think are EWTN, but that are EWTN. So like National Catholic, wait, I have a list on my computer because I'm compiling for my publisher. And here we go. Oh my gosh, this is so annoying. I wanted to like complain about it on social media, but I'm like, I don't want like the publisher to see it. So they're definitely not watching this. But for my publishing company, we haven't even started like seriously editing the book, but I have to fill out like 12 pages of questions about like marketing for the book and stuff. And it's just like, it's taken me like 15 hours so far. And I'm so just kind of annoyed at them that I have to do this. I feel like I'm back in school. But like busy work. So EWTN. So register radio, church pop. Where is it? I had all these other things. Okay. Catholic News Agency is also connected. And then I'm pretty sure Catholic Answers is somehow connected. Anyways, I feel like I don't have. Okay, I thought I was gonna have a list of like 17 companies that are under EWTN, but I can't find it. But anyways, my thoughts on EWTN, they've been really, really, really nice to me and done a lot of interviews with me and really made me feel like they care about me intellectually as a female and they care about my ideas and are supportive of me making theology videos, which is amazing because in my previous church, women couldn't really do anything. Like we were allowed to teach as much, and no one like in my previous church would have like paid for me to do speaking events or like interview me. You know what I mean? Like no one cared. So it's really nice if people care because I'm a woman. Like people still like value my voice. So EWTN has been really, really empowering to me. What are the best churches you visited? The Basilica in DC, definitely. And St. Sophia's in LA. Contraceptives are abortions. The church has always taught this. Technically, yes and no. So some birth control does not. It prevents conception from happening. So the sperm and egg never meet. Most birth control is like that. But some birth control, the copper IUD, it's ambiguous how it works. So part of how it works is if the they're not sure how it works, but the IUDs, they think that it may prevent the zygote from attaching to the uterine lining. Like that could be how it works. And it also works by like it sends ions or something to like push the sperm away from the egg, but it may also be an abortion. But most birth control like prevents ovulation from happening. So like the egg never comes out. There's never the moment of conception. So birth control does not like cause, it's not an abortion. Like there's even a type of like Plan B day after pill, which just prevents the egg from coming out. And so if you're raped, you could take that pill and it would never cause an abortion. Avocados, yum. Hello from Canada. Christina, are you gonna hang out with me at Calgary in 2 weeks? At One Rock. Bacon is terrible. Public schools are always hostile against Christians. They ignore the suffering that Catholics went through in the US. Yeah, I agree. Here's the thing. Like, my high school was super anti-Christian. And my teachers would just, like, be anti-Christian in class. And I would raise my hand and defend Christianity and explain why they're wrong about, like, a stigma that they believe about Christianity. Like, I would defend the faith. And if I hadn't been in the class, no one would have defended the faith. So I think it's good that I went to an anti-Christian school because everyone I interacted with knew I was Christian and I changed their mind about what it means to be Christian. Does that make sense? I can't eat it. Why did God make bacon taste so good? I don't think bacon tastes good because it's flavored and prepared a certain way, but if you just like ate a raw pig, I don't think you would like it. When I ask God about Queen of Heaven and I open my Bible, it opens to Jeremiah 7:18, which is talking about a pagan deity who is Queen of Heaven. So there is a pagan deity called the Queen of Heaven, and that has nothing to do with the mother of the Messiah being Queen of Heaven. Like, it's not related at all. Can you show your rosary? Yeah, I can show you guys. I'll go back to my room and show you. It's the ones I talked about in my last video, my rosary video. It's from this company called Christian Catholic Shop. And I actually use their rosaries to pray a lot. Oh, my roommate's not in here right now. Okay, so this one I really love. And then I'll just look at my film setup, guys. Isn't it cute? And then, yeah, so this is the other one. So this watercolor one, and then this brown one. And look, guys, this is really cool. So Trevor gave me this Mary thing, and he gave me this crucifix. Anyways, so I have a little, like, thing. So I can hang my crucifix on this. And then it, like, reminds me to pray and stuff because it's, like, there. Isn't that super cute? Does this one fit too? Yeah. So I can have, like, my rosaries there. And then it's, like, when I'm, like, going to bed and working on my bed, I'm, like, pray, pray, pray. You know what I mean? It, like, forces me to pray. I wanna be your endgame, endgame. Big reputation, big reputation. Ooh, you and me could be a big conversation. Nah, and I heard about you. Ooh, you like the bad ones too. You so dope. Saint Noah. Stephen Ray says, yes, they're saints. My friend who is Protestant was bullied for being Christian and she got depression and her best friend killed herself. So she came back to a Christian school. That's extreme. Wow. People can be awful. That's what I was thinking about yesterday. You know how a lot of people are like, why would God send anyone to hell? People are all good. It's interesting that like in middle school and elementary school, kids can be so cruel and exclusionary as little kids. Isn't that wild? Like someone who's 11, 9 can be extremely exclusionary, bullying, awful, like a child. So we're definitely born with like you know what I mean? When the church says that we're born with original sin. How often should one go to confession? I go probably at least once a month whenever I feel like really like I hurt people or cause destruction. The Laudate app has a really cool confession feature, and it just like it has like a list of ways that you should be doing like self-care for yourself and like treating people in your life. And so you can go through that list and see if anything you've been doing is like on the list. There's a hell for a reason. Yum. A confession app? The Laudate app. Laudate. Sorry. Do you speak Spanish too? Un poco. Me gusta hablando español mucho, pero no. No. I have not taken Spanish since high school. It's been a long time. What are your parents' stance on the Catholic Church? They think that it's wrong. They're not happy I'm Catholic. Thoughts on veiling at Mass? I'm going to make a whole video about that because people always ask me. So veiling in the early church, like the whole point was like your hair. It was like sexual to have your hair out. Like it was like prostitution, like pagan cult type thing. So your hair was supposed to be like a veil in the early church. It was supposed to be like your hair is like not seen. You know what I mean? Like that. That's a freaking veil. So the veils today are like just cute. I mean, you know, they're symbolic, but they're not like hiding your hair. Like the whole point was like it was immodest. So it doesn't really like make a lot of sense now. I feel like when I go to church, like I try to dress more modestly, but you know what I mean? I feel like veiling today is completely different than veiling in like the 1st century. What do you think about Catholics listening to pop music? My parents raised me to believe that all pop music is bad. So I was very sheltered growing up, and not like because I had to, but I like only listened to Christian music throughout high school even. And I didn't start listening to like secular music until college. And I actually think it was really positive because I think music is very powerful. Throughout all societies, they've had like poetry or music to teach about the culture and like who you are when you're part of this people. You know what I mean? Like music is extremely spiritual and powerful. So I think messages are subliminally influencing us. And so I think we should be careful. So like an example, I'm like, of all my Christian friends, like one of the only ones who hasn't caved and had sex like with their boyfriend or girlfriend. Like all my friends have caved and gone against like Christian teaching. And I think the reason is because everyone's constantly listening to music that is promoting this casual sex culture. And so I think that like affects you subliminally. I really think it does. So I think we should be careful with music. And we shouldn't make it like secular music is evil. But I know like if I have kids, I'm not going to care about cursing as much. I'm going to care about the messages that it's perpetuating. And I mean, you can listen to music and critique it, but if like your cultural experience on how to be a person is mostly through music and TV shows and movies, rather than scripture and reading theology and being at church and the saints and knowing God, then obviously you're going to stray from Christian teachings. The hierarchy is literally having sex with other men. Are you talking about the priests? It's so sad when leadership goes like directly against Christian teachings. Why do you think people hate Paul so much? Like in the Bible? I love Paul. Are you speaking at Seek 2019? I'm not speaking. I know the speaker list. I was gonna come, but I don't know. We're kind of like negotiating right now. I don't know. I don't really want to come, but I might do some like press type stuff for them. Is it problematic that Tertullian, a church father, became a heretic? A lot of the people who, sorry guys, I'm trying to get chocolate. A lot of people who were leading different Gnostic groups and everything in the early church came from like the original Christian church. But I think that someone can present truth in theology, but not be right about everything. You know what I mean? Favorite band? Currently, I'm loving Ariana Grande's new album and Nicki and Gabby, Dan and Shay. Okay, you guys asked about Christian artists. So Sarah Reeves, I've been following since like 2010 or something. And her new album that came out is a completely different music style and actually really, really, really good. Okay, someone keeps saying there's actually 2 Our Lady of Guadalupe's. I like read a really intense book about it recently. I don't know what you're talking about. Jesus laid down his life like a fireman, I guess. Sorry, I'm like not fun in this video. I think I'm not in like depression, but I filmed right before this for like 40 minutes. Like repeating, like I had like a script written out word for word for my video, and I'm so exhausted because I was so high energy. Do you know by location? Okay. How do you have the courage to speak up for what is right? It's because what I was saying earlier were negative comments. I literally don't care what people say about me. I only care how my roommates, my best friends, my family, my boyfriend, like people who actually know me, what they think of me. And God, ultimately what God thinks of you. Can you do a video on the Assumption of Mary? Yeah, I'm doing a Mary series. So I'm going to eventually get to all the dogmas. I love you, Lizzie. You spelled my name Lezzy. How? You are fun in this video? Really? I feel so like low energy. And kind of like when I'm in depression, it's hard. Like I can't think of words to say to explain myself. And that keeps happening because I'm exhausted. Have you vaped before? No. So many of my friends in college were like into like smoking cigars together. Like, do you want to go smoke cigars? It was a thing. Like all my friends. And I was like, why is that a chill thing to do? But no, I've never like smoked anything, vaped, never done weed, anything. You get paid by YouTube? Yeah. I get paid every month. What is your most embarrassing moment? So when I was 9, I was like obsessed with this guy in my church named Wesley Cornwell. Don't go try to find. And one time I was hanging out at his house with him and his brother and my sister, and I was wearing a skirt, and I fell, and my skirt came up and showed my underwear. It was so embarrassing. And another moment like that was in high school track team. I was a freshman, and there were like all these senior guys who I was hanging out with, and we're trying to like get into the track, and the gate was locked, so we were just like, oh, we can jump over the gate, you know, like we're athletic. And then when I was like going down from the gate, my like the shorts got stuck on the top of the fence, And like my shorts completely ripped. And I was there like in my underwear with all these guys who I don't know. So those are like my embarrassing moments. Whenever I'm not clothed all the way. Smoking is horrible for the lungs. Why can't some people understand that at this point? Yeah, I don't know why people, like, the thing is, my friends who do weed will like do edibles and stuff. So I think some people understand. Can Catholics do yoga? Yeah, but if you do yoga, be prepared for this fundamentalist group of Catholics to think you're like pagan worshiping or something. Like, it's weird. People are against yoga. When I do yoga, I literally just do like stretches in certain moments. You know what I mean? It's just stretching to me. Okay, I need to keep eating. I think this has been a good one. Really? I don't know. What are your thoughts about ecumenism of Vatican II? I think it's really good to make it clear that the church doesn't think that like other Christian groups are awful and against God, because God is present. If everything true in the world is of God, then every religion, every type of Christianity has God and truth present in it. Anytime in the world, someone, like some scholar or a scientist, anyone says something that is true, discovers something that is true, it's of God. You know what I mean? So I think it's so loving to let everyone know that even if you're not aware of it, you're infused with God. Like, that's a positive thing. And so I think it really helps with converts because, like, my parents are Protestant, you know, like people I love are Protestant. So it's nice that the Catholic Church acknowledges that God is part of those movements and that they aren't automatically going to hell. You know what I mean? Like, that's nice and comforting to know. And it makes the church look so much more attractive. So many people, so many of my friends, when I tell them that the Catholic Church thinks that like people who didn't know God on earth could go into heaven and stuff, they're shocked. Like, they think that's like exhibiting this huge mercy of who God is. And most Protestant churches don't have that bold of a stance. So I think it's very good for like making Catholicism look attractive. Explain the Holy Spirit and its function in your life. So every single person is constantly infused by God. Descartes had this really cool thing where it was like every single moment, there's like energy, God energy putting into your soul. And then Peter Van Inwagen has this thing where the way miracles work is like, it's similar. So like every moment, power. And then a miracle is when there's like more power, but there's already power every single moment in keeping your soul alive. So I think Holy Spirit is present in everything, but then there's levels to the Holy Spirit. Does that make sense? I just think like God is in everything and everyone. We don't even realize what it would be like without God, because God is constantly in everything. That's why hell will be so awful. Like, people don't even realize what it would be like if God completely left. My sister is a big fan of you. She is suffering from cancer. That's so sad. What kind of cancer is it? I thought yoga was just stretching. Exactly. Do you have a miraculous medal? I don't know what this is, but it's Catholic. I wish I knew what God the Father looks like. I don't know if heaven is going to be like visual in the way we think it will be visual. Yoga isn't a religion. It's just stretching. As long as you aren't praying to false gods, you're good. That's so funny. Oh my gosh, I want to screenshot. Is anyone with me? Sometimes I feel like there's no God when good people die. I'm sad now. Yeah, it's something called the hiddenness of God. It's like all throughout theology. I mean, all throughout the Old Testament, it's interesting because God will leave his people for hundreds of years at a time. He'll let them be conquered by other nations, just destroyed by other people, and he won't be there. God will just leave. And so that's something so common through the narrative of the Old Testament with the Israelites. And so even when God is on the cross, he says, my God, why have you forsaken me? He's quoting Psalm 22, which is talking about that feeling of the hiddenness of God and not seeing the power there. And so I think it's just very like common. Like it's always been a thing where there will always be moments and times where you feel like you don't see God in the situation. And we'll always be like that on and off until we get to heaven, you know? Like God is not fully present here. I wanted so bad for yoga to just be stretching, but it's not. Oh my gosh, you guys are so dramatic. Do you have the St. Benedict medal? My boyfriend does. I wish my boyfriend had a YouTube channel. He's so much more like Catholic than I am. Like with the medals and crucifixes and like the Catholic art, like everything like Catholic culture-esque. He's like so into it. Can you make a video series on bipolar denial? I have. I made a video called I'm gonna actually link the video. I think I can post the videos. Let's see. Lizzie's answers. I totally agree. Like denying that you're bipolar is really common. Okay, I'm gonna link a video in here. And the video is the bipolar video. Talking about how sometimes you'll like over-identify with it and sometimes not at all. How do I get a boyfriend? Help! So I personally love being single and connecting with friends because friends are for life. And relationships sometimes aren't. So you should just focus on flourishing as a person and focusing on hobbies and things you're passionate about and self-actualizing through schoolwork or a job or through your friendships, growing close to God. You know what I mean? Just like be you as a person. And then maybe you'll find a relationship. But what's really toxic, I made a video about this. I'm going to link a video. I made a video like signs like you shouldn't be in a relationship. And I was kind of just talking about this mentality of like, oh, I want a boyfriend. Because relationships are sacrificial and about giving. You know what I mean? If you feel like you have to like feel confidence, you need the other person to feel confident or happy or whatever, that's going to be so unhealthy. I saw her holding a cat. There's no the cat that lives at this place. You and Trevor should do a video together sometime talking about Catholicism. Maybe you could interview him about his spiritual journey. I think that Trevor doesn't want to be like completely associated with my brand yet. Just because he has like his professional school life. Does that make sense? And if I say something in a video that he doesn't agree with, it could like negatively affect the way he's seen. So I think like in the future, like years from now, he could become super integrated into my YouTube channel, but not like now. Does that make sense? He needs to get more like established in his career. But I definitely want him like super integrated in my videos. I think a video I'd really love to make with him is just like stories, like the worst things that have happened because I'm bipolar. And we'll make it like a while from now so we can like look back and laugh at really horrible moments. But there's just things that happen in our relationship that I think like him sharing his perspective of things that have happened would just be so sad but entertaining. Like I think it would be entertaining looking back at how crazy, because like I've talked about what it's like being in a relationship, but I go through something called detachment sometimes where I literally lose all feeling for him. And then sometimes I'll go so manic and be like so into him all of a sudden. And so experiencing like it's like I'm different people to him throughout our relationship. And so it's just, I think dating someone who's bipolar is like the strangest, scariest, most exciting experiences. Zoe, did you just become Catholic too? Catholicism is Christianity, true. NIV, KJV, or NAB? NAB, I hate KJV. It's like, why are we doing Old English? The KJV, when it was originally written, it was like updated every few years to make it more modern English. So it completely goes against like the intrinsic nature of the KJV to keep using this old version today. You know what I mean? Like the people who translated it would be so mad that we're using it. They'd be mad. You know what I mean? Should I go to mass if there's a hurricane coming my way? I have no idea. I think probably there's like, you know how like a mortal sin of not going to mass, certain things have to be like part of it to be a mortal sin. I feel like if there's a hurricane, it's not like a mortal sin to not go to mass. But I feel like if there was something like that in the ancient world, they would have someone like travel around to everyone's house with the Eucharist to give the Eucharist. Like people would like walk for days and days and days and days to bring the Eucharist to people who might be like about to get martyred or something. You know what I mean? So I think that maybe don't go to mass, but there should be someone who's like, their job is to like give the Eucharist to everyone. Can you make a video on how to pray the rosary? I just did! You missed my recent video. Oh my gosh, my thumbnail is so dramatic. Okay, I'm gonna link my rosary video. Did you answer if you were leaving the church? Also, be careful with bipolars. What does that mean? Be careful. What do you think of KJV onlyism? There's like a YouTube channel and I watched too many of their videos. My boyfriend never gets mad at me and I am bipolar. My boyfriend doesn't get mad at me either. I think it's more like hurt than anything else. Because it's like sometimes I just like leave. Like I'm still physically here, but like my mind and my emotion and who I am in the relationship is just gone. Sometimes for weeks. And that's really sad. He doesn't like get angry about it. It's just sad that I'm not, like my mind isn't there, you know? What are your thoughts on atheism? I wish we could delete atheism. Have you ever experienced scrupulosity? What is this? Scrupulosity is characterized by pathological guilt about moral or religious issues. It is personally distressing, objectively dysfunctional, and often accompanied by significant impairment in social functioning. I've never experienced that. I'm the type of person to feel less guilt than I should feel. Does that make sense? Like, I never feel over guilty. I'm very, like, chill and loving with myself. I don't, like, ruminate on feeling guilty. What are you eating? I'm eating a kale salad with tomato and avocado. Lizzie, what I meant about politically neutral is that they can't vote. Oh, Jehovah's Witness can't vote or be in the government. That's so weird. I didn't know that. She's eating salad. Eat meat. I decided I'm really gonna start getting into some of the fake meats. So I got like vegan like crab cakes earlier this week, and I was like snacking on them throughout the week, and they're so good. So if you get like vegan chicken nuggets, vegan crab cakes, vegan Beyond Meat burger, they taste like meat, and they're really good. Delete atheism? No. I'm an atheist. I don't want to be deleted. I don't mean you would be deleted. I mean the ideology. I just realized you've been eating for 2 hours because I'm talking, so I'm like eating in between. Wait a second, my roommate just texted me that someone is outside of the apartment and needs to get in. Hello, I am home. Are they here right now? Sorry, my roommate. I absolutely hated the Statue of Mary. Like, I hated it so much. That was what I hated the most the first time I went to Mass. I was like, paganism and so much fear, like they were worshiping her. And I think what was really bad is like, there's the crucifix, and then the Mary statue was like at the front of the church. So when people were like genuflecting, I thought they were bowing to the Mary statue. I'm not. I'll be here. In 30 minutes, I have to go help someone. So I'll leave before then. All people should be Catholic. I agree. How can you rate Pope Francis's infallibility? Perfectly infallible. The thing is, popes barely ever say infallible things. I made a whole video about this. I'm going to link for you guys. I want to be your endgame. Papal infallibility. Here's my video. I talked about what infallibility even is. And there's barely ever times when the Pope is infallible, you know? I have an interview for a job tomorrow. What do I have to do? I think what's hard about interviews is they ask you, like, do you have any questions for me? And you have to, like, have several questions ready. I think that's one of the most important, like, moments in the interview. But I'm really good at making stuff up in the moment. So I feel like the times I've had to do interviews, it's just been, like, hanging out with someone, you know? It hasn't been stressful for me or anything. I love Tay-Tay. What is your favorite nail polish color? Like a light blue. I wanted to get like the light blue I want, but the nail salon literally didn't have the color. So I need to get my nails done. I've so been, sorry, I'm so tired, guys. I need to like go get my nails done, but I've been so busy. I have no time. This is the longest live stream I've ever seen on YouTube. I do like 2-hour live streams usually. What state do you live in? I'm so tired, guys. I need to go to bed. I feel like filming a live stream after filming a video is like not a good idea because I'm so dead, you know? So I live in California, in LA, where all the other YouTubers live. Literally, and like, we've seen so many YouTubers like right around where we live or in person. We all live in like the same neighborhood. Do you like Pope Benedict? Yeah, I've read a lot of his writings. Not a lot, but the writings I've read, he's really cool. And he helped write a lot of Vatican II. Should priests get married? I wish I could marry a priest. I was thinking about this last night because I was like praying and I wish I could have the Eucharist. I wish, like, wouldn't it be so cool if like I was married to some guy and we're having dinner together and he just like consecrates bread that we're like eating with, you know what I mean? Like just consecrate whatever you want and you could have Eucharist like at home all the time. That'd be so cool. Okay. I'm gonna go soon, guys. I'm so exhausted. What time is it there? It is 6 in the morning in Greece. It's like 8 p.m. at night. I go to bed by 9 usually, so I'm kind of getting tired. Latest thoughts on the Orthodox Church? I absolutely love the Orthodox Church. Catholics and Orthodox agree on like almost everything. I wish we could just be like the same church, you know? It'd be really amazing. It's against canon law to consecrate the Eucharist outside of Mass. But someone was telling me a story once how they were having dinner and the priest consecrated it. Are you leaving the Catholic Church? Of course not. Become Anglican and then you can marry a priest. Or Byzantine Catholic. Daily Mass, Lizzie, you can have the Eucharist every day. I know. It's just a lot of times Mass times don't line up with my schedule. It's 11 in Ontario. I want to try to get my feet done, or is it a girl's thing? To get a pedicure? I feel like everyone gets a pedicure. Pedicure, it's mostly just like a like spa like experience, you know what I mean? Where there's like water and they like scrub your feet and like help you be clean and all these things. It's not like getting a pedicure like nail polish. But if you did want to get nail polish as a guy, you should, you know what I mean? Like just be you. What's the difference between Roman Catholic and Byzantine Catholic? Byzantine Catholic is Eastern Catholicism. So their liturgy is like basically like Orthodox. Like it's very much like it looks Orthodox, but it is Catholic. So it's under the Pope. So it's Orthodox, but under the Pope. So I hope to be part of a Byzantine Catholic community someday because I love it. Liz, can you close our bedroom door if it's not? Yeah. Of course. My roommates are texting me. How are you and your boyfriend? We're really, really good. We're doing long distance again. We spent a lot of time together this summer because I was traveling a lot on the East Coast. So now we're doing long distance for like 2 or 3 months. So we're doing good so far. It's been a week apart. We talked a lot on the phone. So we're going back to texting throughout the day and really long FaceTime. So it's been really good. I'm going to talk to him right when I get off of this. I think it'd be cool to live in a YouTube neighborhood like you do. It's 8 p.m. here in British Columbia. I am a great fan from Brazil. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm so tired. I'm gonna go so I can like sleep and like be chill. I think I worked myself too hard today. Pray for me if you'd like. I will pray for you. I love you guys so much. Converting Catholic, I love that there's daily mass and the priest doesn't babble for an hour. I like how daily mass is so short and like scripture, pray, Eucharist. I like how it's short. What are your thoughts on Archbishop Vigano's letter? People are saying good night. Yeah, I think obviously the letter is probably exaggerating a little bit, but there's seems to be in it. I love you guys so much. I hope you sleep well tonight. Maybe I'll dream about YouTube and you guys. I always dream about what I do right before I go to bed. I love you guys so much. I hope you sleep well. Getting sleep is one of the most important things for health. Getting enough sleep and drinking enough water. Do you watch Bishop Barron? I absolutely love Bishop Barron, yeah. You're not a real Catholic until you are confirmed. I guess that's kind of true. Anyways, people are typing in different languages. Anyways, I'm so tired, guys. I promise the next live stream I'll film on a day when I'm not like done filming an hour-long video. You know what I mean? I'll film when I have more energy. What would happen though, guys, if I was in like severe depression for an extended period of time and I was doing my YouTube? I would just be like for the whole live stream, you know what I mean? I would have to make my friends live stream for me. Anyways, I'm finally gonna go, guys. I love you. Thanks for hanging out with me even when I'm bored. Bye.